seconds on that Protector. There they go. Finally commit to it, and there. Okay, there it is. Finally, last hit comes in, and Team Liquid should be comfortable with that entire phase of control. 24 kills in total, a 2-level lead over their opponent, moving towards level 10. BTG is starting to hurt. And when you're a Sergeant Hammer composition and you're a couple levels behind, it is hard to make your way back into the game.
It really is. Also, I just want to draw attention to a little bit of micro that we did see coming in here from Team Liquid. BTG 619 did want to try and move in and see if he could catch anyone coming out the Protector, but a quite well-known trick at this point, as the Protector dies, if you activate the shield in the perfect frame, the two people who were in the Protector also benefit from the shield. So as such, both members of Team Liquid that popped out there were completely safe, and 619 was forced to back up.
And we do have the Ring of Frost come in. There was a second where Jaina was thinking about what she wants to move into. For those that are at home and thinking about it, if you want to go Water Elemental, you certainly can. It gives you the way to go in for an engage. It gives you a health bar that can soak up some damage, maybe from Sergeant Hammer, to give you the movement that you want to go forward. But the Europe route is to typically move into that Ring of Frost. You're looking to blow up a target, and the way that we've been seeing Garrosh, and now Furion in particular, Nurok, together, cohesiveness, we should be able to have those blow-ups.
They even have Dragon Arrow for this as well, if they want to go for the really ambitious multi-man plays. The amount of combo potential, as you mentioned perfectly, is there. The question is, who is going to be the target? For now, 619 sees the rotation, does demount Eternal. The Sport Billy was able to just keep it going, and as such, this top 4 is going to take a lot of damage. It will survive the initial engagement.
Something to still learn from 619 here. If you're a tank player and you are behind, you got to watch out for those flanks that are coming your way. And him scouting that out allowed for his team to continue this defense in the top lane. The result will still be the same of losing the fort, which was the original intention for Team Liquid, but they don't lose any members. They can't afford to lose more health bars.
Locktar and LLK doing a quick split push. Dragon Arrow not landing here, but they were trying to take down the tower. They don't get that in time, but they still gathered enough experience from pushing up the minion wave to give BTG that level 10 just around the corner and pre the second objective.
Back to item control, support camp already there, turret coming in, BTG is thinking about coming in for the fight, they're going for the invade, but Sport Billy holds the choke, hits a big boy taunt, there's a Ring of Frost, not connecting the way Team Liquid was looking for though.
It only hits Dancing as they move forward, but a quick groundbreaker from Sport Billy hits multiple members. Bunker having to be used, but everyone inside is pretty low with Eternal currently 1v2, turning round to add to the group damage as 365 is dropping low, and we already see Locktar taken out.
Sport Billy might be able to get this. Can he hit the Groundbreaker? He's stepping up. Oh, misses out on the Groundbreaker, so BTG will have 3 escape. I like the intention to move forward, but it needs to be a little bit more layered. You need Murden to be in there in the front line walking forward. You don't want to walk into a 3-man taunt. Every Garrosh player will say, yes please, thank you very much, and they'll proceed to have you killed.
Absolutely, but in this case, it did not, like you said, the Team Liquid able to pick up several kills. The Ring of Frost, like we said, didn't land perfectly, but it caught Hammer. That was the main target. Stop Hammer getting into a better siege position. And this has given Team Liquid a 2 and a bit level lead, a talent advantage. And currently Eternal is just going to be able to sit top. He's going to try and dance this. You'll see him step off, step back on to complete up that circle again. Because even if you're not on the point, as long as the circle is still filled your color, you're still gaining points.
Things to consider as we move forward here for BTG is that Sergeant Hammer and Raynor, of course, will be scaling up throughout the match. But one thing in particular is that Giant Killer at level 16 for Sergeant Hammer finally can start to pressure that Garrosh on the front line. The issue is it's starting to fall behind in levels, and that's going to become a major issue too with another control point come on. Suddenly the fort at the top or the bottom will be cleaned up, but there's a key play available here for Team Liquid, especially with them having a talent lead and them already breaking down the wall.
They have full vision of the fact that BTG are just hard pushing this bot lane, and the reaction is, cool, we'll take a fort for a keep, and this is forcing the forts out of all of the BTG members except for Sergeant Hammer, who will keep pushing this. So it's going to be a 4 versus 4 defense here due to the fact Yabrel is still on the point, but the Protector is already picked up.
Yeah, this is one of those spots where you just take what you can get, and BTG realizes, okay, we're so far behind, we'll have to take out the fort. Maybe we can get back and defend the keep, but getting to 13 is our first priority. If we lose a keep, it happens, and we'll play defense. And already Team Liquid is stepping up to take that keep and get that catapult pressure.
Or dodged.
Sport Billy went for the taunt, missed out on it.
Wasn't able to land it. Hammer's managed to port back, has that ambush, extra bonus damage. You can see the new habits, keeping Locktar safe from the Protector dive there. Good damage onto Dancing, just burning the siege tactics just for the armor hit.
Something to know is we actually didn't get that fort down the bottom right. No experience from here from G. They came up for the defense, but LLK is low on health. The orb comes for the turret. He gets back.
Just in time for the explosion, but Hammer also lucky. Ring of Frost catches him. Stay a while and listen, buys them a little bit of time, but Locktar is eating so much damage here. He's going to get taken out, and Team Liquid, they're going for the end.
I mean, look at Hasselhoffs and Nurok. They have nothing on the back line. If you're a Jaina and a Malfurion and you are not facing any danger, you are so happy with your life. Jaina's been full health this entire fight, and Team Liquid gets killed because of it, and now they're stepping up to go for a core. This is not typical on Volskaya Foundry, and Team Liquid is shutting down BTG.
10 minutes, and currently probably about to be 20 seconds. So close, 10 minutes and 18 seconds into the game. Team Liquid take out Beyond the Game and take game number 1 in this series.
Wowzer. You do not see that on Volskaya Foundry. I had it yesterday on one of our Chinese games. I believe it was the one that was able to pull off a big victory. But Team Liquid getting a 10-minute win on Volskaya Foundry, which is pretty hard to do. But you can take down that keep. There's a lot of room, especially for Sergeant Hammer, to set up and play defense. But them finding the picks allowed him to go that way.
You don't usually see a second Protector game end push there. That is so unusual. But Team Liquid, they were able to set it up. They played around the Sergeant Hammer beautifully. And as such, they have achieved at minimum 1 point, potentially moving them up the table.
Well, let's go over to Gilly and the rest of the panel. Please tell us, how do they get a 10-minute victory?
Well, that escalated quickly.
Yep.
Yeah.
It wasn't a Trident, but there were Rings of Frost. Goodness, that just went from 0 to 100. But that kind of feels like Team Liquid this whole tournament.
I mean, if you already start the entire game with losing 4 heroes during the first Protector, then you know this game is not going to go well, and it just escalated from there on out.
And it kind of got amplified. Like, that's always a not optimal start to Volskaya Foundry, but the minute that you go with an invade over a turret camp that is into a 3-man Warlords challenge, into a 2-man Ring of Frost, and let's be real here, Nurok never pressured again in that situation, pops an early Trank, it just was a kind of beginning of the end. The only way that didn't go that bad is if Locktar gets like a pre-bunker, and you got to kind of next level that one.
Yeah, the bunker there, maybe trying to body block, but either way, it was after people were very low anyway. Trying to jump back into it almost felt like more like you were going back into your death versus just trying to run away. But like you guys said, it happened so fast, so early on that you can kind of just take this one and say, it was early game. We had a comp that we talked about needed to get to 10 when you got BFG and try to stay even early on. It didn't happen. Let's move on to the next one.
I mean, Liquid also was pretty merciless. Even at the beginning, you see 2-3 heroes barely walking away, trying to go through that gate, and all of a sudden there's a flank coming in. Either it's Hazo or it's Arcana, and they deliver the final shot. If you're a bit more lucky, if you're a bit faster, half a second, you might be able to walk through the gate, save the hero for now, and not fall that much far behind. But every time Liquid saw an opportunity, one of them was ready to deliver that final blow, and that really what set them apart there too.
Anything to add?
No, I think just that specifically was a really good job of them abusing. It was mainly the disjointed retreats. Every single time that it would go like, oh, you can go top, I'll go bottom. It was like, all right, just 5-man collapse on bottom. There's no way they can get the response. And it was good punishment up from beginning to end there from Liquid.
Yeah, great to see that Liquid is continuing to keep that momentum going through BTG and continue to respect their opponents at the same time. Let's see if they can keep it up. We're going to get a quick word from our sponsors. After that, game 2.
The 2018 HGC Finals are brought to you in part by Republic of Gamers, Corsair, T-Mobile, Samsung SSD, and NVIDIA.
Sport Billy with a great Garrosh, also some pretty good Jaina plays. Is there anything we feel like is a must take away from Team Liquid heading into the next game?
Not necessarily. I feel like when they're talking about the front line and the way that they're splitting, I would rather have them commit, BTG that is, rather commit to an early Diablo than going for the Meridian here again. You can make plays with Meridian, but I feel you need a stronger follow-up for it. The burst damage that Red pointed out a bit earlier when we were looking at the draft is a really good example of that. If you only rely on the auto attacks, you just can't capitalize on the CC as much. And in that setup where we have especially squishies in the backline, if you get some kind of flanker collapse and have burst damage to follow it up and get a quick kill, then maybe those team fights look different. But Liquid never gave them the time to really secure a kill and then walked away with kills on their own.
I think the biggest thing for me is not so much maybe a removal on the side of Liquid as it's just BTG, you can't draft post 10. It's unrealistic at this point in time to be able to set a goal to be like, I'm going to stay on the same page up into the 10th threshold. And because of that, anything that gives them early game ability to get some kind of aggression and be able to get a kill in that situation, I think that's where they'll find that moment where it's like, here's one pick, here comes a mercenary, and now we can maybe make that death ball look effective. But to go for the 13-minute fight down the road with my Sergeant Hammer and Reyna, I think is far too unrealistic here considering the teams.
I agree, because we're going to Tomb of the Spider Queen for Game 2 between these teams. It's Europe on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and though sometimes you could see the very long-term comeback plays happen, you hoard your gems like your life depends on it, because it kind of does, and then you turn them in a bunch at once and then start taking structures down, get that comeback experience the other way, get ahead, maybe get ahead and win with 20. I don't really see BTG doing that versus Team Liquid, guys.
And on top of that, Liquid in Europe had several games where they were the ones on the receiving end of the punishment for a long time and then still turned the games around towards the end. So it's not like they don't know how to come back into these games. But I absolutely agree. I expect them more so to be the dominant force at the start and try to go for that European double turn in and snowball the game.
It's another good Jaina map, too.
And they played Jaina here already, exactly.
I know. For Tomb, though, for BTG, they haven't played it yet at this tournament. Any specific picks you want for that early game, Dread?
Already, they just banned out their 1 and 2 of what I would have liked to see in the early game from BTG if I was on their side. Garrosh, I can see you pulling away from because of the necessity of having wave clear on a battleground like Tomb, but Tyrande would have been a very big focus that I would have liked to see them collect for themselves. But at least they did not give an early game spike over to Liquid and found themselves a reasonable early game aggressor there with the Diablo, but I think there's still a lot more needed than pre-10 from them.
Also, I want to highlight something because we are talking about in the last game about Reyna, who's now also again picked for Team Liquid in this case. And we talked about how Reyna oftentimes really controls the tank on the other side and tries to stop the engages. We actually at BTG sometimes play even a frontline Reyna where he just walks up into a Garrosh without even pushing him back, is basically the frontline for the team, gets flipped and killed, and stuff like that just can't happen. I expect in this game now Reyna to have way more control over how BTG can engage into these games, and whenever there's a flank server happening, a penetrating round to come out, to be safe, the cooldown to be reserved for exactly that opportunity. And then you can capitalize on it by following it up with the slows and the seals on the side of Dekakane. So I think right now that's going to be a very different interplay.
And Diablo, yes, he can be aggressive, but it takes time for him to stack up souls. And if you guys recall, a lot of Game 1 between Miracle and Team Liquid was putting a ton of pressure on Judy early on, constant poke with the Rainer versus the Diablo, and that's something BTG is going to have to contend with. Bans coming in, rolling in, and Malfurion taken away by Team Liquid, leaving up maybe the possibility of a white main, and then Urel's going to be the ban against TL as they bring back in their Phoenix and then Johanna.
Liquid's just playing the very slow, safe, wave clear, siege capability Tomb of the Spider Queen comp, and honestly, rightly so at this point. I feel like one of the picks that might be a necessity for BTG is a Jaina. It gives them the wave clear capability, but then still the kill potential. They need to find a way to get past this Iron Skin Johanna and into the backline in some way, shape, or form. Otherwise, the macro and siege is going to be problematic here. And the answer is a Ghoul Dam, but that just matches 1-to-1 and lacks that kill potential pre-10, and that is pretty much the exact theory I was hoping to see them deviate from here in this draft.
If they can at least play around the Stukov and the Lurking Arm, they might be able to secure a kill there somewhere. If they get a good CC chain, get the silence in, and then capitalize on that.
Ooh.
The one thing that I would have really liked them to do, though, is ban out Johanna over Urel. I really feel it was just so telegraphed from the get-go that Liquid wants to go for Johanna here, and if you ban that out, then you basically force them to at least consider Muradin or any kind of hyper-aggressive strategy around an Anuburak, and I think that's easier for BTG to deal with. So now we have even added wave clear on top of that, and BTG is going to have a tough time.
Yeah, they can't get Garrosh for the combos. They've already shown they like Johanna here. Now Johanna and Leoric, which is pretty old school itself, but then that is just a ton of wave clear to do so much with the Siege of the Web Weavers on top of that.
And as the game moves on, not only is it a winning matchup for the Leo instead of the Blaze, one of the few characters that can actually beat the Blaze, so now it's a winning 1-4 and it's a winning 1 and a winning 4 for Liquid. Then they have the safe play, and then you go, well, where's the detriment in the late game? Can the Gul'dan end up getting that horrifying that kill? And Leo is a direct counter to that. Sack the Leo, wait for the late game, and Liquid's comp thrives in that type of environment. So I feel like Beyond the Game has so much to prove here.
You also add even more slows that Phoenix can capitalize on. You have the Entomb later on as a setup, and you have the Drain against Diablo himself. So yeah, great choice for them on the offlane.
I wonder how ready BTG would be for an Entomb. Maybe Tetra can give us more information from that, because China does play a lot of March of the Black King.
Yeah, they play so much that you're right. It might not be something that they are able to maybe kind of handle there as we take a look in here with Arcana's family once more.
We got it right this time.
We nailed it.
Thank you so much for coming out and supporting Arcana all the way across the world. And thank you, all of you guys who are here hanging out with us, who've been here every day of opening week. It's ridiculous. It's awesome. I'm loving it. You guys are so wonderful in supporting. It's been a great opening week, guys.
It's been really good.
Yeah.
Good games too.
Yeah. Looking forward to this one. You think BTG's got a chance? What are our odds here?
I'm gonna let him
Come
speak
on.
first.
Come on,
We'll let the
Kaldor.
German bias come out first, and then I'll hit.
Okay, 0.
Oh man. All right. I don't know if I would go that drastic, but I would put it a solid 70-30 in favor of Liquid here.
30?
I think, okay, view it this world. You go dead even to the 10 mark, this comp can hold its own. I
mean,
just go Liquid's probably going to get the 10 advantage a little bit too hard.
I'll give them 2 things they can do. Horrify is one, and the combo around the Stuk of Silence. But 30, if one of the players has a birthday today and you didn't tell me about it, then please tell me now, because that I think is still generous.
Well, don't forget, Dreadnought's an LLK fan. LLK is like the new awesome player, best player, I think, from the BTG video, or best new player. Guys, we saw a Stukov here. We're seeing a Stukov, and I'm excited to see that Stukov for reals. Let's go over to Tetcher and Trixler for game 2.
I'm Arcana's family, and so is my wife, as we are preparing to head into game number 2. To answer the Lyric Entomb, we used to see it a lot last year, and we do see it very on occasion this year,
they have
but
experience.
it is weird. Like, I agree in the fact it is weird the amount of March of the Black King over Entomb we have been seeing, but they should be prepared enough for it.
And another thing, I have to shame Kaldor. Kaldor, I know we've been separated for a couple of days, but give them a little bit more hope. BTG has wave clear. They've got some late game. It's 2018, Kaldor. Show a little care bear. It's okay.
I thought we were friends, Kaldor.
Oh, we were friends too, Kaldor. We'll have to talk about this later on after the show. Let's go ahead and go into the game, though. Here on the left side, in the blue, it's going to be BTG. 365 on Stukov. Gonna have LLK on Gul'dan, Lockdar on Blaze, 619 on Diablo, and Dancing to play some Hanzo.
And on the right-hand side, currently 1-0 up, hailing from Europe and already through to tomorrow, through to BlizzCon. It is Team Liquid with Phoenix played by Arcana, Eternal on Leoric, Hasselhoffs on Raider, Nuruk on Decade Kane, and Sport Billy is on Johanna.
So there is some major worry here for BTG, but I also think there is some upper hands for the late game. You have the Diablo that can get soul stacked up pretty nicely. You got the Bunker for the team fights. You got Gul'dan's Horrify, which was mentioned by Kaldor, Dread, and Gilly. It is definitely a composition that can perform. The main question is whether or not Team Liquid is just going to run them down the early game and open the map too much, because double turn-ins are a tried and true tradition in Europe.
That they are, if you can get the first turn in and snowball it. Like you said, it's been since the first season of HGC, maybe even a little before that as well with the old Fnatic style. We're starting off with the Fetid Touch coming in from 365. It became a little bit more common in China for a while post the most recent round of Stukov nerfs. But it's still interesting to see being busted out here. I guess if you're on this small of a map with very strong rotations, you're quite likely to get it stacked quite quickly.
You'll have a lot of W's, that's for sure. BTG, though, in the middle, not having all their members. It's Team Liquid. Opens up with a fight here in the middle, and they get a quick pick there on top of Diablo. And remember, in that early game, he's not stacked yet. He is definitely a juicy target.
He is a squishy boy at the moment. With only 14 souls, he has a long way to go. Even before that Feast on Fear is going to give him any kind of healing output here. New habits as well for Blaze once as well. He also is going to need to stack up a fair amount before he even gets safe from this gank squad, so he needs to play quite safe for now. And of course, he's against the Leoric, so percentage damage is going to give Blaze a pretty rough time in lane. But on the bright side, Gul'dan's having a pretty fun time so far with 10 stacks already.
Part of that fight that did happen is that Diablo, while was kind of backwards, LOK was able to drop down Corruptions, and he's got a total of 10 stacks, as you mentioned, trying to build towards that 40, which is pivotal, especially as you build towards that level 16. You want to have that Corruption stack finish up, the Ruinous Affliction, combo together, typically can one-shot backliners, and a Phoenix, if you're able to land on top of him and his shields are about halfway down, you actually can kill him straight out.
That's exactly what you want to see. Decade Kane as well. Obviously, the potions are not AoE unless you take that talent, so you've got to make sure you're prioritizing targets right. And when it's tick damage, it can be hard to find that right target. 619 is having deja vu, but eats a big chunk of healing thanks to the Fountain and Slicker.
Now, here's something that's happened is Team Liquid went for an early night camp, and they got that pushing in the middle, and they got a wall for this. Typically, a response for this is to either clear it out into your night camp afterwards, or be in the middle of doing your night camp and then have it come and defend. BTG did neither. They were actually too late for that, and therefore they're going to get their night camp and have that push afterwards. But Team Liquid is feeling very comfortable, so comfortable they even spread Phoenix down in the bottom lane and got another kill.
Very nice start here by Team Liquid. This is exactly what I said at the start as well, that until the new Habits is completed, Lockdown needs to play safer, but in this case, he gets himself caught out in lane. The rest of BTG rotate down. See that Arcana is doing that camp, and they're able to dissuade Ethernal, and that is enough to shut down that camp being taken. As level 4 is available for both teams, we're seeing another China special, the Biotic Armor, coming in here for the Stukov, that extra physical armor.
China and their builds, man.
This is definitely the most China build game we've had so far.
I mean, there's always a good positive look at this, right? You get that 15 physical armor, right? And that's something that you want to be able to spread to your teammates. And of course, there is a bonus when you get that kill switch going
Up
forward
to
as
50.
well. Yeah, which is nice to have against a Rainer, right?
And a Phoenix. Honestly, if you're looking at the composition, you're like, yeah, this works, but it's so unusual.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's very, very different there, but they will be able to have the sustain. They will be able to have the damage reduction coming their way, so that is a go for them. But the thing is also, you got to make sure that spread happening in the middle of a team fight, which can be kind of hard to pull off with a Stukov. But we'll see if BTG can pull it off. For now, 27 gems have been dropped off by Team Liquid, and the deaths that have come already from BTG, in particular that bottom lane, has hurt them. They only have 37 gems available.
619 gets rooted. He's only got 65 souls, but he's able to survive.
Big
This
silence!
time, healing Pav did the turnaround silence. Like you said, taking out Phoenix.
And Goldan continuing to stack up to 17, and BTG feeling comfortable about that one here. If only they had enough gems to go for a direct turn-in. They do have 43 now of the 50 they need, but at least they're showing some fight here as they find their first kill of the game.
15 stacks on simple geometry, not the fastest stacking in the world, but he's keeping a pretty reasonable pace, so he should be available by level 7 or close to, by the time the next team fight, by the time the first turn starts to happen. But BTG need to keep guarding this turn-in points because Liquid have enough for the turn-in, whereas BTG, they are still 6 away, 2 whole minion waves.
I just realized every single person on BTG has some kind of stacking quest. Whether you look at it or not.
if you include Diablo's baseline and I guess technically his level 4 stacks before it gives you souls. So you are correct here with Arcana getting flipped, but the silence does not land, and now 619 is in a rough position.
You gotta be careful here. 619 might be too far, and Ethernal steps up and goes to the body blocks. Oh my god. Diablo is like, please let me out, please let me escape, please stop this, please stop this. And Team Liquid just destroys it.
They just lost over 12 gems there. That is a huge deal. They don't even have enough for a turn-in anymore. Whereas Liquid, they still have been holding on to all these. As we said earlier, they have 46 gems. They are definitely aiming for that double turn.
Yeah, looking for about 10 to 15 more, and then they'll go for the first turn-in, pick up the rest of the gems on that turn-in from the end while they're moving towards level 10. This is very trademark European Tomb of the Spider Queen. Get that turn-in, open up those walls, and then punish once you hit 10, break some forts down, and take a major lead in the game.
Okay, quick amount of harassment, but the silence is just ignored. Spotfully none of that with that Iron Skin. Noctara is really wishing he had some help right now as the Web Weaver, Siege Giants, and 3 members of Team Liquid begin piling into his bottom lane. But right now, BTG seems to be focusing onto the mid lane.
Yeah, he's gonna have a hard time just clearing that by itself with 3 people backing it up. He can't even step up and get auto attacks in, or he risks the thought of a death. And actually, Hasselhoff is coming in for a rotation, comes from the back line, does not get the penetrating round he was looking for, so the Lockstar does escape. But the main objective, that fort, it's going down.
First fort taken out, but you can see here mid, Web Weaver was already cleared out. Top is weak enough that they should finish that off as well. The question is, how quick is this rotation going to be? How much damage can Team Liquid, if they continue to go aggressive with that level 10, can they get bot lane? They snipe away Hanzo.
That's just a major mistake there from
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, Entomb comes in too, 365, and Ethernal goes through the wall to make sure he has the body block. The Lord Nadal even stops Diablo from coming in. But Dancing, why are you taking that unsafe rotation? You just saw 3 people in the bottom lane, you have no idea where they're at, and you walk into the arms of a Leoric.
Here's the question though, is it worse that Dancing did that, or that 365 did it straight afterwards and did the exact same thing? But either way, those were 2 kills, and with that, that is going to be a 7-minute keep coming in from Team Liquid. They have a 2-level lead right now, and they're just going to be able to pull back safely with the Wraith Walk. Ethernal, the only one even close to in range. Great escape by Team Liquid, just as level 10 hits by BTG.
Team Liquid just pouring it on here. A 7-minute keep on Tuma Spider Queen is unheard of. Just like we saw on Boskai Foundry, a 10-minute win with his second protector. Team Liquid just seems to be levels ahead of BTG. Good news for BTG, as they are going to be hitting that level 10, so finally that Horrify comes online. Let's see if they can find a pick.
Iron Skin already dropped. Dragon Arrow is absorbed by the Iron Skin. Blessed Shield looking for the maybe turnaround with the Lord Nado. Trying to catch Gul'dan, but he's able to sneak away thanks to the body block you have Locktar, but he's now in the
Bunker? Where's your bunker at, Locktar?
He's holding it.
He's holding it here. The creepy hand is on him and taking his
Got it.
life. It comes out, but it might be too
Horrify.
late. There's a Horrify.
We see Leoric dropping low. Can he get away? The oil is there. Yes, he can, but Salvo's gonna wreck Locktar. He tried to run to the bunker, but there was nothing doing, and he goes down.
Okay, so the bunker was held slightly a little bit too long, but the idea behind it was, okay, let's get them to a point where they're trying to kill off Blaze, they step up, and we can get a Horrify off of it. And it almost worked. It almost got Leoric picked off. Luckily, Leoric was able to sidestep out and get a heal in from Nurok. Team Liquid takes a close fight against BTG, and they get one. The big news is the follow-up. They get an immediate turn in, and now Webweavers will be pushing middle, top, and bottom.
And in theory, Team Liquid could try and push bot lane and go for the end game here and try and beat their own record in this series. But Team Liquid, they do not take that kind of risk. They move in Tomb being dropped, trying to make the play. Webweaver's pushing it in the bot lane as well, but there is a fight happening. Gul'dan taken out. The Lord Nado completely isolating 619, and he's going to go down as well.
And Tomb hits Gul'dan, and Gul'dan gets completely picked off. No Horrify for 20 more seconds, couldn't save himself. And Team Liquid turn around and get another pick off on Diablo. It will reset his souls, and he'll be back. But now he's a squishy kitty cat we saw in the early game. Team Liquid will take this 5-man push and run the top lane down with the Webweavers.
Hanzo is at least releasing? I don't know the term for some. Relieving, that's the word I'm looking for. Some of the pressure in the bot lane by clearing out the catapults and the Webweaver down there. So there's not going to be core pressure, but he is going to need to now come back very shortly if he wants to make sure his team doesn't get another lane worth of catapult pressure if this keep goes down.
Yeah, I mean, Hanzo's stopping the nosebleeds in the bottom lane, but Team Liquid's lost a foot, or taking a foot in the top lane. As they push this top side in, take down that turret, get some damage on the gate, take the fort. Look how open this map is for Team Liquid. Everything is red.
Everything is red. There's even still potions in bot lane. That's how little damage Team Liquid have been taking so far in Tomb on 619, but no reaction this time for the kill. They didn't have the right positioning at all, so Team Liquid not going to take the unnecessary risk. They pull back, grab Fountain, and here's the sad part, Trick. BTG still don't have enough gems for a turn-in. They're about to get it with this minion wave, but that's rough, where your opponent get 2 turn-ins and you didn't even have enough gems for 1.
Yeah, that's the side effects of bleeding on that bottom lane, which is what happened there with that Blaze losing so many gems in the early game. BTG stepping up and trying to go for the turn-in now. They are not level 13, so if they do fight, it will be at a talent disadvantage.
LLK trying to turn in his 13 gems. He only needs to get 9, but he's the only one on his team with gems at all. Everyone else has 0. 619 looking for the maybe turnaround, but Sport Billy is not getting caught. Lornado, though, 619 is going to be caught. Ancient Blessings, they focus him down. Dragon Arrow is easily dodged.
Hyperion comes out too, and 619 is dispatched up. Next will be the bunker over onto the Blaze, and boom, with the last auto attack, Hoswab's able to get the kill. Boom, Tetris, as Team Liquid turns around and goes straight for the boss.
Well, the gems were saved on the side of BTG, but this boss is going to be pushing into the already weakened top lane. They're still short of gems themselves, so Team Liquid can't go for the classic boss turn in play here. And Gul'dan really just needs to sneak across the map at this point and get the turn in. You're going to lose your counterplay or your turnaround play. Like, this is a decision you make. You either use the Webweaver to defend the boss, which might be why Team Liquid is delaying a bit here as well, also to get some XP towards level 16. You can use it to either defend the boss, which looks like they are doing, or you could have saved it, believed you could have defended the boss just as 5 once your teammates are back alive, and then use the Webweavers for the turn-in if you're able to take a fight. But because Team Liquid delayed and got closer to the level 16, the Webweaver defense makes more sense.
Yeah. Definitely go for the latter of the options, as you want to be able to make sure you have something on the field. Just unfortunate that they have no follow-up to this. This is their one flash in the pan and used for a defensive measure. Team Liquid will be pushing the top lane. The good news is there's no Hyperion for 25 seconds. But if Team Liquid finds a kill and then Hyperion pops up, they can certainly move for core. So BTG has to play careful, poke them apart, and make sure this key does not take too much damage. And they do pretty well in defense.
That's a lovely cleanup, using the Webweavers, dropping damage, avoiding Leoric's in Tomb. They played that incredibly safely, but like you said, this is their comeback potential. Currently bleeding away onto the front towers of Team Liquid. BTG, they don't need to make something happen, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. Moving in, new habits available on Blaze, but once again, it's going to be Johanna who eats the initial engage. Maybe it looks for the turnaround with a flanking Hasselhoff doing huge damage at 365.
Hasselhoff is playing Raynor like it's a Jaina, coming from the side, getting the auto attacks in. Lockdar attempting to escape here, drops down some fuel as well.
Deep.
Big, horrifying hits, but team, look at them, they're all healthy.
Bless Shield has already been used, they don't have that, but LLK is just going to die here. The Scroll of Sealing will not secure his fate, actually, but Eternal, he's got the chase going. LLK's on the run, he needs to get to his allies, but Eternal just dropped too much damage, and a kill is acquired.
And it is. Looking over to the stacks right now, 33, 40, 619. All by himself once again. Picks in the bottom lane, and another kill comes in, 12-1. Team Liquid has enough gems for a turn-in, and while they're at it, let's take our opponent's Knight's Camp.
That's, yeah, another Night Camp coming in here. Top lane's weakened. Mid lane is about to be significantly more weakened than it already was. Bot lane is completely open and is beginning to accumulate catchballs. Team Liquid don't even need to turn in yet. They're going to try and weaken down the keep, and this can maybe turn the game into a core call with that next weapon returning. 25
seconds for that big Glorify to come online. Gul'dan needs to land a perfect one, especially off Phoenix to get pull that in, but Team Liquid is just stomping forward. Johanna with the Condemn, pulling 3 in. There's that Lord Nado. Blaze goes in for the jet propulsion. BTG thinks they have a fight.
619 just eats so much damage. The Dragon Arrow was good, but it was too late with Diablo taken out. That is the main front line. He didn't even get Apocalypse off in that fight.
Diablo still having 50 souls, but still not enough to be tanky, especially at a 3-level deficit. Team Liquid turns around the 2 with the big one, and look at this salvo. Pew, 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 as Arcader cleans up 3. A 4th about to fall, as well as LLK gets dispatched of, and Team Liquid says, okay, we're done taking heroes. Let's take a core.
I mean, there's no heroes left to take. The only thing left on the map is top keep and this core just happened to be nearest as Team Liquid just walk it in, and they are going to take game number 2 and a solid 2-0 in the series.
A decisive showing from Team Liquid, a 2-0, which will get them 3 more points, helping set their saw up for next week at BlizzCon as they try to